Yo, what's good, YouTube? Dark Black Crow here with another video, and I might be walking around again like I sometimes do because that was loud, but because I feel a little bit antsy, but that just happens, man. Like, okay, so like I take medication, right, and sometimes it just makes me like on edge a little bit. So like, yeah, honestly, that's why I do that. But besides that, the video is gonna be about the only way from down is up, and a better way to put that is, you may be down, you may be stuck, but the only way to go is up. So, to me, what that means is you can be in the worst situation, right? And of course, you may be stuck in that situation. Like, you may have no way out of it at the moment. But the more you just realize, man, that God has your back and Jesus is on your side, then you'll realize that the only way to go possibly is out of that situation. Like, it can be any situation, man. And honestly, you have to trust God, you have to trust Jesus and everything around that. But at the same time, you have to understand that if you put in the effort, because God will have your back, right? But just like I said in one of my earlier videos, you have to understand that you have the tools. You're the one that's supposed to make it happen. God's gonna lead you there, but it's up to you to make that decision to actually do it. So with that being said, you have to understand that God's not going to just let you sit back and do nothing about it. You have to get up and do something. Like, it's worth it, man, because I've been in bad situations, right? And I realized that when I sat back, nothing happened, because nothing did happen. And that's God telling me to work for what I want, because in this society, you have to work. And if you don't work, you're not going to make money, so you can't eat or buy the clothes or the expensive things or little things that you want, even little things. And I'll give an example in a little bit, but yeah, it's just you can't do any of the good things, man. And in order to thrive in society, you have to have money. And I'm saying that unless you depend on someone else, of course, but at the same time, that's what I've realized. I'll say for my life, because I'm not sure about everybody's life. I'm not going to speak on everybody about that, but that's been happening in my life. And when you just sit back and do nothing about it, what could possibly get done? And you have to understand that God wants us to be strong, resilient, warriors. And we're living in hard times right now because these may be the end times. And in my honest opinion, it is. It's coming close to it, because there's too much wickedness going on. But that's just a prediction out of me. I'm not saying it's real. I'm just saying that's my opinion, because I've done my own research, and I'm not going to say the research has actually been factual, but at the same time, I've just been studying life, man, and that's the way I feel about it, But, you have to just honestly do something about what you want to get. And that's maybe the only way you're going to get it, because, God, I feel like God is going against his word if he said that he's just going to literally hand it to you. If he's literally just going to hand something to you like it's nothing, because I don't think that's never worked with me. But that's just my life. I don't know about yours, but that's just what's been happening with me, Like, I've just never got anything handed to me. Everything I've had or have wanted, I've had to work for it. I've had to go after it. I have to get up, do something about it, or else it's not going to come. And maybe that's God going hard on me. I don't know. But at the same time, that's just the way my life has been. And I was just talking to a friend about what I was saying about, what was I saying? Yeah, about, like, getting stuff handed to you by God. Well, he was saying that it does go against his word. It goes against God's word and what he preaches and what he tells us if he was to just hand it to us like it's nothing. If we wouldn't have to use our own tools and whatever we can use in order to actually get that what we want, And that stuck with me, because I'm like, yeah, because that definitely makes sense. And like I said, it may not make sense for everybody, but it definitely does make sense in my life, because everything I've ever wanted, or like I said, ever had, or anything, I've had to work for. I never got anything handed to me, Even if I, let's say, ask like a family member for money, like they're asking like, what are you doing? Are you actually trying to put in the work so you can get money and everything like that? It's never been just a handout. But one example I have is, okay, so this one time, right? I can't explain that because that's kind of personal. Like, I don't want to bring anybody else's life into it, but hold on one second. I'll think of something. I definitely have something for this because this happens all the time. Yeah, so I was in the car, right? And I'm not going to say who I was with, but so I really needed money because I was vegan at the time, which I'm planning on going back vegan, but I'll do that sooner or later. But yeah, so I was trying to go vegan, and I was like, I need money in my head. So I was like, dang, I need this money. And I didn't know what the person was going to say. So I asked for the money, right? And this may be little, but at the same time, it's still something around my life that always happens. It's not little to me. So I just got out of school, and I was like, can I get money? And the question was, immediately, Ian, or whatever my name is, have you been doing good in school? Have you been doing your work? Have you been going to work? Are you planning on quitting? And everything around that. Are you going to college? Everything. And my question was obviously yes. And the thing is, I actually tried out college. I was doing good at school. I graduated. I did work, and I was still going to work. I wasn't thinking about quitting or anything around that. So I didn't lie. I didn't do any of that. I told the honest truth, and ultimately I got the money. But with me, right, why I say that's a big example for me is because that always happens. Even if I just ask for like the littlest thing, man, I always have a little talk about my life. And that's just the way it goes for me, man. Maybe it's just my life, I don't know. But I never get things just handed to me, because if I said no to any of that, then I definitely wouldn't have got the money. But for me working, and not only working, but at the same time going to school, joining college later in life, and doing all the right things that I know I should be doing, and not getting in trouble like smoking weed or any of that nature, because I even stopped smoking weed around that point, that got me the money. And I ended up getting the vegan food, and I felt very happy, man, because I was actually doing the right things. But at the same time, that just teaches me that, I'm going to have to actually do something behind, like, asking for something, Like, God is going to lead me to the fountain, but it's up to me to drink it, pretty much, for example. And, that's my life, like I said. I don't know about anybody else's, but that's just me, man. That's how my life's been going, I never get anything handed to me without me actually doing something good or doing the right things or anything like that, It's not hard to, like, not trust me because I'm very trustworthy, but earlier in my life, I definitely wasn't like that because I didn't understand God the way I do now. But I'm understanding God, and I understand that He wants me to live a righteous life, as in not lie, steal, cheat on a girlfriend, any of that kind of stuff, because I'm beyond that, and I'm more powerful than that. And Satan's not going to get me on that, even though Satan tempts me 24/7. I can tell you right now, Satan tempts me so much to do the wrong thing. But at the same time, I just never fall for it because I'm strong and resilient. And resilient means, like, resilience, if you don't know what that means, because I kind of just learned this recently, but like within the last month, but resilience is like when you like are able to like bounce back from a situation, And I know that's me. And I know I'm a very hard worker. I get what I want, but because I do the right things to get it. And I stay on the right path. I don't go down the wrong path, and I don't let Satan tempt me in the wrong way. And even if Satan does tempt me and it doesn't get to me, but it makes me a little mad, I don't scream, I don't yell, so I go to a dang hospital or something. But at the same time, I just sit back, talk to God about it, and I try to talk to God about it as much as I can, because I love talking to God. I made that video, but yeah, I love talking to God. So I talk to God about it, pray about it, read my Bible, distract myself, like music, going for a walk, meditating, eventually going to the beach, and everything around that. So I know that I'm doing good in my life, but at the same time, everything is not going to be handed to me, man. That's just not the way it's going to go, man. I got to get everything. And I feel like God honestly was like possessing that person to say that, like to get the money. I feel like God was like possessing that person to say that. So like God makes sure that I don't do the wrong things and I actually earn what I was supposed to, what I want, but that's just me. But at the same time, going back to going back to the only way from down is up. You just have to understand that as long as you put in the work, and as long as you understand like your own life story, and as long as you don't listen to all those bad temptations that people give you, then you'll go up. But you just can't let anything hold you back. You have to just keep moving forward, man. Like I said, when you look into the rearview mirror, eventually you're gonna crash if you just keep looking there. You got to look in the front, in the windshield of the car. You can't just keep looking back. You got to keep going forward, or else you're gonna crash, you know. But yeah, besides that, that was the end of the video. Just wanted to say that because that's how I really felt it on this beautiful day. You know, I'm enjoying my life, but if you're ever wondering. But yeah, let me see if the cat's here. I love recording the cat. She's so cute. Nope, she's not here. Well, besides that, that's the end of the video. Dark Black Co out. Peace, love, and positivity, all y'all. Catch you later. Love y'all.